Alright, so we're taking a look at 3 lands, not ideal, but I think the rest of the hands plenty keepable. This is a variant of Aspiring Spike's quote-unquote life total control deck, or basically mono red burn. Okay, we're up against Eldrazi. I'll drizzle for shizzle. So, a little bit of a slow hand against Eldrazi. I don't really think Spike's sideboard, the smashes, might be relevant. Other than that, the rest of the deck's relatively useless against Eldrazi. Or sideboard's useless. Let's see. Okay, so they are... Oh my. So, I mean, we could try to... Feels like they're through the breach control variant of the deck, maybe? Bluetron. Skill crack, alright. Presume they get Devour here, hold on to Ulamog. Wait, if they breach us in a couple turns, they, Yep. Keep a 3-lander, immediately draw 2 more. Okay, sure. Have a good old consignment memory here. Guess the only nice thing about this is their lands are dealing them damage. And we finally have a target for land can definitely go to the graveyard. I mean, if we get breached here, none of what we're doing matters, so... I think the best thing for us would be... I don't even know. So all creature cards from your graveyard. Exile top 3 cards of your library. A creature card from Eager Seal on the battlefield under control gains haste until one turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Doop. Doing this break on that because our DRC is just going to die. Is technically a burn spell. It's an interesting brew our opponent's got. Oh, fantastic. So we're dead. Let's make them go through the motions, though. Which means they're going to exile their Ulamog from hand and then get an absurd... Ulamog with haste. Basically, this is like... almost like a... What's the name of the stupid card? Not an amulet. There's a Quicksilver amulet, I think it is. Take the Searing Blazes out of our deck because they're kind of trash. Not really worth fighting over the graveyard nonsense. I think that seems like a pretty reasonable thing. So Spike is a big proponent of DRC and burn decks. Then obviously Swift Spear and Slick Shot. Don't know if you really call this burn at this point, but this hand has the potential to be very good and very quick, so... Obviously, if our opponent has a lot of early interaction, this hand will come to naught, but otherwise, this is a very good prowess hand. Especially if we can top deck a second land next turn. Actually, I don't even know that next turn we need to top deck it. Because next turn we're not really doing much without one, unless we're casting, you know, Skewer the Critics. So it's got an interesting. Let's go ahead and bash in for 2 or for 4 here. already drawing. Kozilek's Return. Well, if they had kept a soul land in hand, that's going to be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. Chalice, or... Yeah, it feels like a Chalice on one. Okay. Really need a land. Let's get rid of the critics, put you to 7. Obviously, it would have been nicer to cast that pre-combat, but okay. Oh, sure. Let's just draw a bunch of 1-drops. Which, granted, our deck does have a fairly reasonable amount of, but... So, our opponent is going to do... possibly a mistake here. Yep, we're going to main phase it. Sure. Alright, we finally drew a land. So we'll just get in for 1 here. Because even if they have an answer to this, I guess their best answer would probably be Kazi's Command. It'd be like land Kazi's Command. It at least gets us to the point where if we resolve these 2 skull cracks, we win the game. So, either deck operating at peak efficiency this game, but also, of course, they do a Through the Breach, and none of this matters this turn. Devourer of Destiny. Yep. Need to draw a non... Basically, we need to draw a basic mountain to cast our spells. Because Barbarian Ring and Sunbay Canyon and Fetch Lands are useless beyond this. Sure. To exile the Ulamog and then smack us with it next turn. Basically, I'm conceding because this Yggdrasil Rebirth engine is just GG. So. Alright. Matchup number 2. This one in a league. The other one was in a 2-man queue. So. Yeah, we'll try this one. Next turn, like a slick shot, whether we I have no idea what's going on over there. Holy legs, Batman. Some type of affinity list, obviously. Or at least seems most likely affinity. I don't think there's any... Who knows? I haven't seen an amulet list in a while, so maybe they're playing Urza Saga Springleaf Drum for some reason. I can only imagine. Oh, wow. Okay, this appears like we're up against the brute scale deck. Land? No land. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and deal with this walking ballista. I don't want them getting a construct token off of it. Mm-hmm. Basil's color could be terrifying. Is that an evil lethal? +3, +3. So I could kill this. Continue to choke them on mana as much as possible. And then... Did I miss lethal there? So +5, +5. Yeah, I might have missed lethal there. Mm-hmm. Fleshwrecker. Is that an infinite? How much do these cost to equip? Scale combo. Weird game. Okay, so Drowsy Temple, Blade of the Blood Chief is the card we were looking for. I've seen this deck before. I think it's a spike combo nonsense. Yep. And sideboard. Got a bunch of weird stuff. They're a one ring deck. They're a Blade of the Blood Chief deck. Saw a Basilisk color out of them, so I think it's literally just bring these in. Go down the Skull Cracks maybe? Because it looks like the majority of their creatures are killable by can't keep a no-lander. Keep this one. Back Growth Bolt, I think. Go ahead. It's gonna die to Searing Blaze. Come on. Spiral of Doom. Searing Blaze. Ancient Stirrings. Yep, there's a Saga, so they get punished for playing early end. Lava Spike you. Lava Spike you. Hold up Bolt in case anything stupid happens. Yay, Mishra's Bauble into drawing another Mishra's Bauble. I don't agree with this play by our opponent, by the way. I think they should have just made a construct and tried to gain some life. String Blaze is not a great card to draw, but oh, I guess they make a construct either way. Which is currently a 2/2. So they make a construct. Well, construct, but I call them constructs because I think they were originally from constructs. Sure. Really hate burning resources like this, but either that or the opponent gains a bunch of life a turn, so. At this point, if they have the combo rolled up or something else, more power to them. Whole bunch of blades. Just hold up bolt here. Bolt you. Do that. And our land base kills you. Alright, so quick wrap after 2 matches with this deck. I greatly respect Spike as a brewer, and his take on burn isn't the worst I think I've seen, but I mean, I think he has the right strategy with burn, and that is burn has to try to be fast. It's almost gotten to the point where it's like the legacy deck. You have to consistently kill turn 3, and I don't think we've had the draws to do that in our first 2 matchups. I do like some of his ideas. Basically his idea is you play Slick Shot Show Off to increase your number of turn 3 kills. DRC increases consistency. You're playing a mono red mana base. Barbarian Ring gets you a little bit more damage. Sunbit Canyon draws you some cards. And then the rest of the deck is just, boltwave, lava spike, lightning bolt. 4 copies of Searing Blaze, because that's kind of almost a necessity against Boros. 4 copies of Skullcrack, largely because of Boros, and then Riftbolt and Skewer the Critics. His explanation with Slick Shot is it does enable the faster kills. And then the sideboard, he had surgical extractions where we have Tormod's Crypts. That's mainly just a budgetary thing. I don't have surgical extractions at this point. 4 copies of Searing Blood for any type of Boros matchup, basically. The energy decks. Fry, I don't know that he touched on this. I would suspect, I don't know that you bring it in against Boros, but this is a solid card against Frog, etc. So, Frog, Murktide, smaller Murktide regions, etc. So that's the only reason I could think of bringing that in, kind of like similar to Unholy Heat or Path to Exile in some builds. And then 4 copies of Smash to Smithereens. Eldrazi are a thing. Affinity lists are still somewhat running around. So Answering Chalice, Trinisphere, etc. is kind of a necessity. So this isn't the most outlandish version of Burn. In fact, compared to what I've recorded on the channel or for the channel the next several weeks, this is one of the more close to traditional Boros as it is, and I do like his thought process that Burn does definitely have to be, a turn 3 deck if it wants to compete. So hopefully in the future installments with this deck, it'll perform a little bit less lopsided. I know every time I swear that I play a DRC version of Burn, just the games end up being super weird. So, anyways, if you like Burn content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you for our next video.